Enthusiastic about sharing with you day number 17 of my daily journal because I'm making a lot of progress in this pursuit of building a new business from scratch on target to really succeed within this 10-day execution cycle. And, as I told you from the beginning, there's always a methodical path to doing this. The first step, of course, is defining success. And success for me was, I'd said from the beginning, was I was going to create a new venture. And this new venture was going to focus on reaching into jails and prisons across America, creating content that could teach and inspire. But I didn't have a product to do that, nor did I have a vehicle to reach that model and to make people aware of me. So I had to go through it all from the beginning. But because I knew how to define success, I could start creating these incremental stages along the way. And today's day 17, so it is the 7th day of this cycle, or is it the 6th day? I'm not quite sure. Day 1 was defining success. Day 2, and that's what we called it, is defining success, identifying the values that we're going to live by. Day 2 is setting the very clear goals of what I would have to achieve in order to build this. Day 3 was moving forward with 100% commitment, making sure that nothing was going to get in the way. Day 4 was then having this aspiration that said, when I finish this project, I know exactly what I am going to have. Day 5 was the importance of taking action, making sure that we're doing what we say we're going to do. Day 6 was holding ourselves accountable. That's what I spoke about yesterday. I had to hold myself accountable to make it happen. Otherwise, I'd only be talking about it. And I wanted to build it. I wanted it to be done. And if I did that, that's what we're talking about today is number 7, awareness. That I would do was build a business in 10 days, because that's what this whole story of being resilient is about. And if I look at this page and see how far I've come, I just want to walk you through it because I'm super proud of it. I'm super proud to have made this much progress, because you can see all of the work that I've gotten done just in this first few days of this execution cycle. I had to rely upon other assets that I had, making a video, as you see, of me teaching in various prisons across the country. And I just got a loop going through there because I want my audience, who are going to be administrators that work in jails and prisons across America, to see that I'm not somebody who just talks about doing something. I actually do it. I showed them my books. Obviously, I had to write all of these books before I could get it up there. Video courses where I'm, interacting with people in prisons and jails. I showed them a picture of my podcast, another little bit of media representation there that shows who I am and what I do, or what really our team does. And then they can click here to go to the next page. And I had to build this video here that's very specific, and it talks about the 10-part course that I create and that I teach. And then I've got a little section here where if they go to this, they can go to the next page on the document, on the project. And here I really wrestled with this part because I didn't know if I wanted to actually put a video, because I'm giving a full 1-hour video here that shows the full meaning of what I am doing. And it's free, but in order for me to create it, I wanted to be able to reach back out to people who are expressing an interest. So I required them to put their email information in there. So like if they don't put their email information, you'll see this button won't allow them to advance, right? These are mandatory fields. So all of that is what I want you to see, is that if you're building a business, you got to be thinking about, well, how am I going to connect with my customer? I got to become aware of them, right? That's what this journal is about becoming aware. They've got to be aware of me, and I've got to be aware of who are they. So like if I click right there, it won't allow them to advance, right? So, but if I put an email in there, it doesn't matter to me. They can put the wrong email, but once they do, then they can move over to this page where they can click the image below to watch the video, and then boom, the video pops up. And they get to watch a 50-minute video where I'm actually teaching a free aspect of the course. So all of this is really well thought out, in a sense that it's helping me build my business. It shows my prospective consumer what exactly they're going to get. You can click any of these, what these are called, accordion boxes. They can open them up and get a little bit more information. They can get information here about how to teach it. If they click here, check this out. I built this entire PDF that's interactive that they can download wherever they are. 10 steps to prepare for success from jail or prison. And of course, all of these are interactive. It takes you right back to the link. So it's the entire thing really makes me feel like you can achieve a lot more if you really pursue the path. And so in this downloadable PDF, they get to see a little bit more information about the course. They can understand what they're getting, how much it costs, exactly why it can bring value and help them solve their problems. I give them a menu of other courses that they can also acquire, and I film them all in 10-hour increments. And they all follow the same path that I am using to teach you. If they want to reach out to me, they just click this here. They can send me an email, and we can communicate. It's how I'm making them aware of me, but simultaneously they are giving me the ability for me to become aware of them. And so all of this site is really an exciting project for me. I'd like to go back to it actually, because I didn't get to show you the price point. So if somebody wants to buy the course, of course, they can do it right from here. I've created a payment link and everything else. So there's a payment link right there, and it'll take them right to an order form. There's some of my books. It'll tell them what they can get. They can process it with their credit card information. They can, and place an order right there without ever having to talk to me. If they want to go to the store, I built a little store on the back end, again, with the courses, where they could also buy my books. Again, click onto any one of my books. You go right to an order form, and you can order the book. So this is what I've created for institutions. But what's important is that I am showing you none of this happens by accident, right? We have got to have a visualization of what it is we are striving to create. That's what I mean when I say define success. And at the beginning of this, remember we said, I want to create an execution cycle. And the reason that I do that is because I never ask anybody to do anything that I am not doing. If I tell you that I am going to pursue something, I am effectively holding myself accountable, and I'm inviting you to hold me accountable. If I don't do it, I encourage you, to say what happened. And I can tell you, sometimes things happen and we don't get through. But the challenge is when that happens, we need a tool like this to help us stay on course. That's the strategy that I used to get through 9,500 days in prison. It was always focus on what do I have to achieve? What do I have to build? And what do I have to learn to get there? Now, obviously, when I went to prison in 1987 and I was just a young guy, I didn't know how to do any of this, right? So we have to learn these little steps along the way. And as we learn all these little steps, we become stronger. We create opportunities out of nothing, right? When I went to prison, I didn't know how to write a coherent sentence. But it is this same disciplined, deliberate path that put me on the track toward getting a university degree, which was kind of a start. Because remember, I'd said, I don't know if I've revealed this, I didn't reveal this in this execution cycle, but in the previous execution cycle where I was first talking about it, I did reveal that by learning from leaders like Socrates and Mandela and Viktor Frankl and so many other people, I learned that I've got to define success. And for me, I defined success at the very start to, number one was to, in order to connect with society, I would have to think about what would they want. And I believe that people in society would want me to have an education. And so that was really an important part of that execution cycle. 2 was to contribute to society, which I later defined as publishing books. And 3, building a support system. Because I was on that deliberate path, right, I became aware of opportunities that I could seize and make happen. Anybody could have done the same thing. I mean, I was in prison for 26 years, serving a 45-year sentence. But because I was on this path, it wasn't my external circumstances that defined who I am or what I am. I would create that through these 10-part plans. And as soon as I finished one 10-part plan, I'd go after another. Right after I got my graduation, as you saw on that video there, right? I turned my focus to other things like publishing books. I didn't know how to write a book. But my head was always in the game. I was always thinking, what can I do? And there is an urgency to this, right? There is an urgency to this. There is no time to, as my wife likes to say, dilly-dally around. You got to make it happen, because had I not gone through school I would not have been able to move to the next level. I would not have been able to advance in a way that would allow me to persuade a publisher to give me a publishing deal. I would not have been able to figure out so many little steps along the way. And as I'm creating this course right now, I'm remembering all the different types of businesses that I built while I was in prison. I'm remembering all the different strategies I had to use to bring mentors into my life, where they would travel from across country to come visit me inside of a prison visiting room, simply so that I could work toward building and building and building. And that's the same thing that I am doing right now. I never ask anybody to do anything that I am not doing, but I am showing you in real time what you can pursue, what you can accomplish if you are on this deliberate path. Right? If you decide, okay, there's no way I could have made a video like that unless I had invested the time and the energy to learn how to do that. How did I do it? On a 10-day execution cycle, right? First, I had to figure out, well, what's the first step? Maybe it was researching video equipment. Maybe it was researching software that I had to learn. And there's just so much. Like, if I were to task somebody else, hey, I want you to build a product like this, a service like this, and I want you to do it in a week or 10 days, it'd be overwhelming because you wouldn't know how to do it. Oh my God, I don't know how to do it. But you know what this is all about? It's about taking incremental action steps, right? Incremental action steps. When I got out of prison, I didn't know how to send an email, right? Email didn't exist when I went inside, right? I didn't know how to use a cell phone. It didn't exist when I went inside. I certainly didn't know how to program websites or web design. And I'm not an expert web designer. You know what I am? I'm a guy that wants to get it done, right? The perfect is the enemy of the done. I know some graphic designers that could make this thing look amazing. But guess what? I don't need to make it look amazing. I need to make it effective. I need to make this a project that can book revenues for me, right? If I want to work from home, if I want to build my own business from home, if I want to be able to function and succeed and earn a living regardless of whether I have to stay at home or go out, right? I need to learn these tools. I need to make sure that I can get my own leads, get my own sales, collect my own money right from here. And if I can do that, that means I can do a lot more. I can teach other people how to do it. I can create courses that will teach other people how to do it. I can sell those courses to other people who want to replicate the model. But this is really important to me, that I document the entire journey, that people can see, okay, this doesn't happen by accident. If you look at this content schedule, this is something I look at every day. Am I doing it? Am I creating all this content? You can see me scrolling through here. It's not a game. It is real work. I mean, you will see by the end of this month, which is going to be, I think, April 30th. Yeah, there's 30 days. So tomorrow's the last day of this month. I mean, we've created, I don't even know how many pieces of content, but all of these are digital assets. There's 83. I'll have a total of how many minutes I recorded of content. And you know what? All of it has value. All of it has value. And, my phone's ringing off the hook because people are aware of me, because I'm working hard, just like I want you to do. I never ask anybody to do anything that I am not doing. And I wouldn't suggest that somebody do this unless I could see, hey, this works for me. It helped me. Is this a business call? Yeah. Oh, well, I got to take this call pretty soon. But I do want you to hold me accountable, and I want you to see that I'm actually doing it. You will see after I finish this project today, the next step will be my wife is going to mix this information, and she's going to mix this so it's added to my site. This is going to be April the 29th, 2020. It's day 17 of my Journal of Awareness. And I'll feature it in various places. And then I will take this into a prison and show guys who are living without hope, who are saying they can't do anything, who are saying they don't have resources. We always have resources. We just have to be aware that these little steps are going to put us on a pathway to seize new opportunities. Had I not invested time to develop my critical thinking skills, to develop my communication skills, I never could have written a book. Had I not written a book, I never would have built a strong support network. Had I not built a strong support network, I never would have found the love of my life and gotten married inside of a prison visiting room. Had I not gotten married inside of a prison visiting room, I would not have been able to build this relationship that has led to fulfillment for me, fulfillment, I hope, for her. Probably I'm a little aggravating sometimes to her, but it's all part of this journey. And it's the part of the journey that I want other people who want to rebuild their lives to do. But you got to remember, it doesn't happen by accident. We've got to take methodical, deliberate steps. What do we do first? Define success. Define success for you may not be creating a business in 10 days. It may be learning how, to get a lesson out of a single book. It may be getting a GED. It may be losing 15 pounds. It may be whatever. You define success, not me. It's you. Those are your values. 2, what are the clear goals I'm going to pursue to get there? That's the second step in the strategy. What's number 3? Have the right attitude, right? The right attitude. You've got to be positive. You got to know you can make it happen, and you're not depending on somebody else to make it happen for you. You're not obsessing over the stupid news that's going on in the world. You're thinking about live in the world as it exists. 4, you've got to have an aspiration. You've got to know that if I pursue this path, I'm not going to be this miserable person that's, the world's falling apart. No, you're going to build your life. 5, what action steps do you have to take? Figure that out, and you move to number 6. You better hold yourself accountable. You can't build anything expecting somebody else to measure your success. 7 is if you're on this path, you are aware. Your head is in the game. You know what opportunities you can seize, and when you're doing this, the world is going to become aware of you. And I'd love you to become aware of me by subscribing to this channel on Prison Professors, whether it's our podcast, whether it's our YouTube channel, whatever. Share and engage, or share with somebody else and create opportunities. We build a community of strength, of being resilient. Participate on our Being Resilient Facebook page, because this is the roadmap to getting through a struggle. I'm still going through struggles, but every day I work it, and I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. Thanks so much for being a part of this daily journal. Execution cycle number, day 17. We're moving to 18 tomorrow, which is about being authentic. Don't be somebody who talks about it. You got to do it.